What if I told you that the parts of yourself you fear, avoid, or reject are actually the key to your deepest healing? The emotions you suppress, the patterns you repeat, and the wounds you carry might not even start with you, but with your ancestors. I'm going to share with you a somatic ritual and journal reflections that can support you to compassionately move into your shadow work. If we haven't met before, I'm Jen Marumba, and for over 20 years, I've had the great privilege of helping hundreds of women and people of color reconnect with their ancestors, their roots, and heal inherited patterns. Today, we're diving into shadow work, not just from a psychological lens, but from an ancestral and indigenous perspective. Because when we tend to our shadows, we are not just healing ourselves, we are healing generations before and after us. First, I want to be clear on what I mean by shadow work. Psychologist Carl Jung described the shadow self as the unconscious parts of us that we repress, like fears, wounds, and even hidden potential. These unacknowledged parts don't disappear. They show up in our triggers, projections, and repeated life patterns. From an indigenous and ancestral perspective, shadow work is not just personal, it is relational. Our shadows exist because of what has been passed down, what has been silenced, and what the collective has deemed unacceptable or possibly unsafe. Our ancestors carried their own shadows. Some were healers who were persecuted. Others lived in survival under capitalism, like us today, and colonialism, and for many, disconnected from their own sacred gifts. When we do this work, we are not just tending to our personal wounds. We are tending to the unspoken grief and unexpressed power of our lineages. And in doing so, we reclaim our wholeness. Shadow work is about making the unconscious conscious. It's not about getting rid of the shadow, it's about reclaiming it. One of the most important things to understand is that the world around us is a mirror. The things that trigger us, whether in relationships, society, or even within ourselves, are often reflections of something unhealed within us. Instead of fearing these reflections, we can learn to meet them with curiosity, with gentleness within ourselves. Many shadows stem from childhood, times when we may have felt unsafe or unseen and had to repress the parts of ourselves to fit in. Shadow work is about reparenting our inner child, showing up with the love that we possibly never received. Science shows that trauma lives in the body. Our nervous systems inherit the survival responses of our ancestors, our environment, our parents. Many of our fears, anxieties, and even physical ailments are not just personal wounds, but echoes of what our ancestors and our families may have experienced. For example, an ancestor who lived through war, colonization, or even famine may have passed down scarcity fears or hypervigilance. Shadow work from an Indigenous perspective is ancestral care work. It's about honoring and transforming what our ancestors possibly couldn't heal in their lifetime. Your shadow holds power. What if the shadow isn't just pain, but a portal to your greatest gifts? Many healers, artists, and visionaries were once silenced for their gifts. Their voices may now live in you. What talents and wisdom did your lineage suppress? Reclaiming your shadow is not just about facing wounds, it's about rediscovering the power that was buried with them. Many Black, Indigenous, and people of color carry cultural shadows as well, where our ancestors' wisdom was labeled as wrong or dangerous due to colonization. Shadow work as decolonization means reclaiming what was once forbidden, our spiritual practices, our languages, and that ancestral connection. What parts of your culture feel distant or erased? Many people want to skip shadow work and focus only on light and love, and that is really important, but suppression only makes the shadow stronger. True spiritual protection comes from integrating, not avoiding. When we face the shadow, we reclaim our energy. We move through life with more clarity and power. Many indigenous traditions see shadow work as a form of death and rebirth. We must let go of an old identity to step into our true self. Ancestors often appear in the darkest moments, guiding us through. Healing is not meant to be done alone. Shadows need to be witnessed. Many indigenous cultures have collective grieving and storytelling rituals to move through darkness together. You may want to reflect who in your life can hold space for your shadows with love. Shadow work is an act of self love. It is a journey of remembering, bringing back the parts of you that were lost, suppressed, or even forgotten. If this resonated with you, please comment below. And I'm curious what parts of your shadow you are working with right now. Like and subscribe for more ancestral healing videos. Together, we reclaim what is ours. Shadow work, again, is not meant to be done alone. Our ancestors healed in community through shared rituals and storytelling and care. So that means we are meant to do the same. Please join me in Diwa, my online community, where we explore shadow work, ancestral healing, and spiritual reclamation together. Inside Diwa, you'll receive access to more rituals, prompts, and a space to share your journey with others who are walking that same path too. So, our somatic shadow work ritual, we are going to meet that hidden self in the body. This practice invites you to not just reflect on your shadow, but to feel it in your body, creating a space for release, integration, and self compassion. Find a quiet, comfortable space, dim the lights or light a candle, or hold a grounding object like a stone or a crystal. Take a few deep breaths in, feeling and settling into your body in the present moment. Whisper to yourself, I am safe. I am willing to meet what is hidden. Place a hand on your heart, your belly, or any part of your body that calls for attention. You may ask yourself, where do I feel weight of what I have been avoiding? Take a moment here. Notice any tension, tightness, or numbness without judgment. Breathe into that place. Imagine softening around it rather than forcing it away. Ask yourself, if this part of me had a shape, texture, or even a movement, what would that be? And allow your body to respond. Does it want to curl inward or expand outward? Does it feel heavy or jagged or trembling? Let your body move as needed, rocking, stretching, shaking, or holding still. Speak to the shadow, saying, I see you, I feel you. What do you need from me? And take a moment to listen. This may come up in words or emotion or just a sensation of shifting. If emotions rise, allow them. If tears come, let them flow. We embrace them here. If laughter emerges, honor that too. As we close the space, place both hands over the area you focused on and whisper, you are not alone. You are part of me. I will not abandon you. Take a deep breath in and exhale with a sound, a sigh, a hum, a release. Shake it out of your body gently and bringing yourself back to the present. Take a moment to write down any insights that arose. The affirmation to carry forward: all parts of me are worthy of love and understanding. This ritual allows your shadow to speak through sensation and movement, making healing a fully embodied experience. If you'd like to tap into more, please connect with me. I'd love to journey with you, and we could do this together to integrate your shadow work into your spiritual practice, into your practice of wellness. And I thank you. Thank you for choosing life. Thank you for your sacred gifts. And thank you for being here. Be well.